Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, let's talk about the World Boxing Super Series Cruiserweight Final because it's upon us. It's really close to happening. March 21st in Riga, Latvia, we will have Yuniel Dorticos challenging Mairis Briedis for the final of the World Boxing Super Series. The IBF and the IBF title will be on the line, so it's a big fight for both these two. The IBF title and the Muhammad Ali Trophy will in fact be on the line between these two. And stylistically, this is a very interesting fight because Yuniel Dorticos, I mean, in his own way, he's kind of like and I mean this in a good way. You know, he is like in his own way, the mini Deontay Wilder. You know, but with better skills. Obviously, he's like the Cuban Deontay Wilder with better skills. Long, rangy, can punch his ass off in the cruiserweight division. You know, you got him versus the plodding, aggressive style of Mairis Briedis. Now, these are two fighters that are two of the best fighters at the moment that the cruiserweight division has to offer. They both only ever suffered one loss in their career, and they were to elite fighters. You know, Dorticos, his only loss of his career ever was to Murat Gassiev in last year's World Boxing Super Series final, and Briedis lost to arguably the greatest cruiserweight of all time in Alexander Usyk, who obviously went on to win the World Boxing Super Series and become undisputed at the weight class. So these guys, you know, even in the losses, you know, they definitely didn't lose to any bums, you know. Now, before we get into their fights, let's kind of revisit their last performances. Dorticos, in his last fight, he fought Andrew Tabiti, and Tabiti was a guy that for years here in America was getting decent hype. You know, people looked at him as a promising cruiserweight prospect. He was one of the bigger names coming out of that Floyd Mayweather gym. But his bad habits caught up to him when he fought Dorticos. He's always had a problem of, you know, resulting to holding the minute somebody crowds him. You know, and sometimes he doesn't let his hands go as much as he does on Instagram when he does like the pad work and stuff. So as the fight got to the middle rounds, Dorticos figured him out and was just lining him up for that right hand. And when he lined up for the right hand, he said, boom! And that was it. You know, finito, the end, good night, sayonara. Call the ambulance and get a stretcher. He was out of there. It was one of the knockouts of the year for Dorticos. So he's riding high coming off that victory. And right now, for me personally, I'm favoring Dorticos. I just think skill-wise, he's been improving on a fight-by-fight basis. Punching power-wise, he has fight-changing punching power. And I just don't think that Briedis will be able to avoid it for 12 rounds. Now, we'll see. Now, Briedis, he had an absolute just interesting fight. His last fight came against former WBC world title world champion Krzysztof Glowacki. You know, it was a fight where they were punching each other out to the bell. I mean, it was absolute mayhem in Riga, Latvia last time Briedis was in the ring against Glowacki. But he ultimately wound up stopping him, you know, in that fight. He got him out of there in the third round. I mean, it was only 3 rounds of boxing, but it was like the most eventful, action-packed 3 rounds of boxing. So if you haven't seen Briedis versus Glowacki, I would highly implore you and encourage you to go watch that fight. Now, these two guys right here, whoever wins this fight, because right now the cruiserweight division is kind of like in a developmental stage. It's kind of like changing at the moment. The landscape of the division is changing. You know, right now, as you look at the cruiserweight division, you know, the world champions, aside from Glowacki or Briedis, are Lulanga Mukabu, who will be in line to fight the winner of this fight, as he is, I believe, the WBC interim champion. You know, you got world champions I've never even heard of holding the WBA title. You know, so it's really a weird division at the moment. There's nobody you can really say is the guy. So I guess whoever wins this fight is the guy. But most people will probably say like the best fighters in the division haven't even challenged for the world title yet. You still have guys like Lawrence Okoli on the way up. You got Kevin Lorena, who's getting a lot of hype right now from people in the boxing industry, in the boxing world. You got Kubrat Pulev's brother, Terrell Pulev. He's ranked across all sanctioning bodies right now as it stands. You got Lyndon Arthur, who's fighting Anthony Yarde, and Anthony Yarde's first like real fight since the Kovalev fight. You know, you got Alexei Papin. So there's some good names in the division. You got Richard Riakpo, who just won the British world title. You know, you got my boy Isaac Chamberlain returning to the ring March 28th. I think he'll be a player in this division at some point. So the cruiserweight division is wide open. It's up for grabs. There's not really anybody that you could pick out and say like he's the guy, but the winner of this fight for the time being will be looked at as the guy. And I just personally believe it's going to be South Florida, Miami's very own, Cuba's very own, Yuniel Dorticos, the KO Doctor. They call him the KO Doctor for a reason. I just don't see a scenario. I don't think Briedis is going to be able to stay away from the right hand of Dorticos, because he's like Wilder in the sense that if he touches you with the right hand, you're going down. Like, he's got that kind of punching power. But I think he does a better job of setting it up, you know, because he's got a decent jab. It has improved over time. He doesn't just come in with a jab or come with a right hand. He doesn't just come through the front door reckless. He can feint you. He can make you react and make you fight when you don't want to fight. And he's got subtle things about himself that make him one of the better fighters in this division. Even if he doesn't win this fight, he's going to remain one of the best fighters in this division. So I'm going with Dorticos to stop Mairis Briedis and get the victory, become become the winner of the Muhammad Ali Trophy again. You know, as the second annual Cruiserweight World Boxing Super Series will conclude. But either way, I think this is a true 50-50 fight. You know, I think this fight can go either way to pick him. I just think it's going to go Dorticos' way, because when you have the kind of momentum he has, you know, it's very difficult to beat. So we'll see what happens. But the cruiserweight division is one to watch because it's wide open right now, and it's going to go through a lot of changes in the next 18 months. So you're going to want to pay attention to the guys on the way up, like Alexei Papin, like, you know, Tavel Pulev, Lawrence Okoli, Isaac Chamberlain, Lyndon Arthur, all these guys. So we'll see what happens. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. You know, there's a lot of cruiserweights right now too that are kind of old and they're on the way out. Like guys like Glavaki, guys like Ian Makabu. Makabu's no spring chicken, even though I like him. He's no spring chicken. So with that being said, there's lots of young fighters. It's very much changing. It's a wide open division. So I'm really interested to see what happens with cruiserweight over the next 18 to 24 months. But you guys, let me know what you think in the comments down below about this fight. Who are you favoring? Dorticos or Briedis? Let me know in the comments down below. Take the time to subscribe, and like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys.